What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about what's going on with Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, to answer my own question, the first 10 seconds, nothing. Nothing is going on. It has been a very, very silent year, and, this is maybe one of the best all-time examples of games being announced far too early, right? Originally supposed to come out in 2023. We are approaching 2025. I don't know if people can add, but that's 2 years after it was supposed to come out, and, yeah, the engine type thing, there could have been reasons why it was pushed, but ultimately this thing was announced back in February of 2019, right? Originally DLC to Hollow Knight, then became its own thing. 6 years, going to be 6 years in February, and we still don't have even a date. Going to be on Game Pass. That's the good news back from 2022, if that's even still true nowadays. But yeah, I mean, it's a game that was just announced too early. It's a game that, when I think about games that were announced, 3, 4, 5 years, I always go to Wonder Woman and Wolverine and things like that, all the W's, but really BioShock is, I think, January of 2019. That's an incredibly long one, and that, I guess, is the longest one. And then you got Hollow Knight as, I guess, the top two. Maybe like Star Wars Eclipse is up there in the top 5. But what can we expect to see of this thing in 2025? Well, hopefully it's literally anything. I don't check their Twitter all that often, and I don't really think you have to, because if you go on their Twitter, Team Cherry's Twitter, that is, right, you'll see that they only really repost, and they haven't tweeted in years. And yes, did they repost a little bit more recently than multiple years ago? Yes, they did. But I think it was back in like the first half of 2023. So approaching 2 years since they even tweeted or retweeted anything. These people are just radio silent for the most part, at least on their official things. I know, people have done deep dives into the individuals. People have done deep dives into, hope that we would get, certain things at certain dates, and it's just nothing. And so, I feel a lot with this game the same way as I feel about The Wolf Among Us. This one is just even more, I guess, farther removed. I don't get too worried. I don't get too caught up in it to build my expectations to then be let down, when it doesn't appear. So much like The Wolf Among Us, for this game, Hollow Knight Silksong, anytime there's a show, whether it's an Xbox event, I think you can probably safely rule PlayStation events out, right, because of the Game Pass link. So whenever there's a Jeff Keighley thing, and Jeff Keighley is kind enough to always come out ahead of time and say there's no Hollow Knight coming, and that's nice that it's achieved that status where you have to debunk it before the event even starts. But anytime there's a Jeff Keighley show, Summer Game Fest, Gamescom Game Awards, whether there's an Xbox show, for me, with this game, I will never expect it at any of these until it actually happens. And that might sound weird, but it's beaten any kind of hope out of me over years and years and years, where it's like, why for even a second would I think or assume or expect this game to appear anywhere, when the answer is, 99% likely the answer is no, right? I do believe the game is happening. I do believe we'll one day get the game, and I actually believe the game will be quite good. Hollow Knight is a quite good game. I just don't know why it needs to take 6 years to make a sequel. I know Team Cherry, they're very small, right? I think maybe they're under even 10 people or so, but I don't know. 6 years, pretty insane to me. With the success of Hollow Knight, I just don't understand how it takes that long. So I don't know. What happened this past year? Nothing. What's going to happen next year? I want to say nothing. Look, 6 years, that's a long time. I really hope that we see something again, and I don't know, is there any way we can figure out years? Well, I guess, okay, wait, I can do it actually pretty quickly, right? Was announced in 2019. 3 years later, they did show the trailer at that E3 and said it was coming out in 2023. That didn't happen, but that was 3 years. So 2019, 2022, another 3 years would be 2025. So maybe if it's just going by threes, maybe 2025 is when we would get another announcement of some kind. Don't know when. Actually, no, I would know when. If it would be an Xbox event, I imagine it would be at the June one, right? And Xbox normally does really good, with those events. Hollow Knight would be freaking awesome to appear there. And, again, you could do Jeff Keighley shows, which would be Summer Game Fest, early June, Gamescom in August, or the Game Awards. That's kind of it. Xbox normally does the developer direct in January, late January. They're not theirs, right? It's just a game being on Game Pass, so I wouldn't imagine they would appear there. So, yeah, at this point, it's June, or it's August, or it's December, or it's never. And it's just one of those 4. You pick which one that you like the most. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.